Hey guys, it's Erica. I have some space opened up for more propagations. So I chose 3 plants that I'm going to take propagations from, and there's a good reason for all of them. I feel like I have a lot of duplicate plants. I have a lot of plants propagating, so I don't really feel like the need to propagate just to add to my collection. It's more of like, okay, we got to make this plant look a lot better, and propagation is the way to do that. So for the first example, which is a really strong example of cutting up my plants to make them look more beautiful, is this Raphidophora tetrasperma. I feel like I talk about it a lot. I talk about my raph that's just climbing up a pole. It's just a straight little plant. And I think this upper part looks absolutely gorgeous, like beautiful, chef's kiss. It looks great. But then, like, down here, before I decided to stake it up on a pole, it's kind of wonky. It's actually really wonky, and I was thinking to myself, like, it shouldn't matter. It's not really that obvious. It's kind of obvious. And I was like, it looks so beautiful at the top, so it's fine. But you know what? It bothers me so much to have this random curvature. Like, everything else is climbing up so nicely and straight and beautifully, and then down here is just ugly. I don't like it. So I'm gonna cut it all off. I'm gonna pretty much cut almost the whole thing off, and I'm just gonna propagate this whole entire thing into multiple propagations. I'm honestly a little bit nervous and kind of scared to do it. I know it's not gonna end badly, like I know it's gonna be fine, but I'm planning on cutting really far down. I'm planning on cutting right here because I like to cut below nodes that have lost their leaves, so I could just propagate that. And I feel like I would like to have more leaves here. Like, I feel like I don't want any leaves missing. The rest of the plant doesn't have any leaves missing, so I kind of don't want to start this journey without a second leaf here on the plant. So I'm thinking of cutting it there, and that's pretty much like the whole plant. Like, the plant's only gonna have one leaf. I have my little shearsies, and let me just unhook this. I don't know how many cuttings to take of this because it is very long. So I guess I'll first start off from the bottom. Oh, it's falling over. Let's give you a good view of what's going on. Ooh. I've been holding it up with butterfly clips. Orchid clips, by the way. And I'm just gonna cut right there. This is what's left of the plant. It smells like freshly cut plant. So now we can move this aside, and it's gonna be beautiful in no time. This grows really fast for me, so I'm not worried about it. But now I have to decide what to cut here. I think I'm gonna cut wherever it's straight, and then once it starts curving, like, do you see this curve? I hate this curve. Like, this is the whole entire reason why I'm cutting this plant up. By the way, it has a lot of spider webs on it because it lives outside. Try to ignore those. So this cluster of baby leaves, it's really random because all the leaves are big and then suddenly these are small. And I'm planning on putting this in water. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna stop talking and do it. We got one. This is so cute. We got one, okay. I have to keep in mind which way I cut all of these because I need to root them the right way. But here's the weird wonky part. You can see that all the leaves are pointing down. So I guess I'll just stick it in water like this. Yeah, I'm planning on sticking all of these in water. Ooh. So I have a little bowl here. It's like a little fish bowl type of thing going on. And I'm just going to put that in there. And I'm going to put all of these in here, actually. I don't want to go one by one. That's very extra. I have this guy, which is pretty long. I don't know if I should keep it this long, but I don't think so. It's weird to get so many propagations from this. I never thought that I would cut the plant. I thought I would get over the weird question mark part, but I couldn't. There we go. We got a nice bushel. I don't have any water in here yet. I kind of like adding water after I put everything in so I could see how far I need to fill it up. And there we go. all from this plant that's now just a single leaf. Next is also a cosmetic issue for my Philodendron bipennifolium. You can see, okay, first of all, these bottom leaves are yellowing because I put it in a kind of almost, pretty much basically almost no light. So that's why this leaf is yellowing. The newer leaves, like these two leaves that came in, they're really disfigured because it didn't have enough light. Like I should have gave it more light. So it's a little bit disfigured and I want to cut the disfigurement off and keep this looking beautiful. I'm gonna just get it right here, right below where the wonky leaves are. And you can see like the top leaf is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It looks how it's supposed to look. And also too, I kind of am not a fan of having just like one vine. Like I kind of like fuller looking plant. So hopefully I could add this back into the pot and then the plant will look a bit more full. And by the way, when I cut my plants, I cut as low to the bottom leaf below the node I'm cutting because all of the material that I leave above this node is going to be useless because it's just going to branch off from the node. So if I left a whole stick here, that whole stick would stay there and there would be a whole branch over here, and I don't like how that looks. So I like to cut as close to the node below the node I'm cutting as possible. Once I have my cutting, you can see there's also this really large amount of stick, and you can leave it there, but I like to cut it because the large amount of stick isn't necessary either. So I'm just gonna cut that off. When I make a cut, I do it as close to 45-degree angle as possible. I like to give it a nice angle because that increases the amount of surface area that is available on the plant for it to grow roots. And I'm actually gonna add this to the Tetrasperma. So I'm gonna put this with the Tetraspermas. It's gonna be a full house in here. And I'm probably gonna add some pothos cuttings just in case. I'm not sure if adding golden pothos cuttings that are already rooted helps other plants root faster. I've heard that it releases a hormone or some kind of signal that helps plants root faster. So I've just been adding golden pothos cuttings. I specifically have the cuttings just for putting with plants that I want to root. So that's what I'm gonna do, but this is a really beautiful bouquet. I'm gonna give it a lot of light that it needs, and I'm gonna change the waters frequently. I have to change the water a lot where I live because there are so many mosquitoes, and you'll see like mosquito larvae in the water. It's really gross. Like you can literally change the water and 3 days later you're gonna see little baby mosquito larvae. It's really nasty, and it brings me so much joy to flush them down the drain and murder them because I hate mosquitoes so freaking much, and I'm glad I get to kill their babies. So we got 2 down, and this leaf is most definitely gonna fall off sooner or later. That's okay because it's kind of just coming out of the bottom of the pot. It's not really attached to this stick. I would like to have some leaves grow in this area because it's really blank, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. It's gonna be nice eventually, and I'm probably gonna have it staked exactly like the Tetrasperma. So there's just gonna be a Tetrasperma and a bipennifolium together, just climbing. We're gonna race to the top, I guess. And lastly, I have this insane Philodendron micans that for some reason only has one really long vine, and it's bothering me. We're gonna cut it because it has really small leaves since I also kept this in a low light area and I've been letting it trail, but I want to kind of chop it up and then kind of prep it to be able to grow on a trellis type of thing because I want them to have really huge beautiful leaves. I started putting it outside so it could get a lot of sunlight, and it's probably what set off this crazy growth spurt. So I'm gonna be cutting this really long thing first, and I'm not gonna be rooting it in water. I'm actually gonna be using the little plastic bag method because I want to combine the cuttings with this plant as soon as possible. So I figure if I have it rooted in soil, then it might speed up the process a little bit. I think I'm going to cut pretty far down. I'm going to look for if there's a leaf missing, which there are so many leaves missing on this plant. Right here I already see 2 blank nodes. So, 3 blank nodes. So we're going to cut that up as close to the next node down as possible. So there it is. We got that little extra, and that seems like a fine amount to me, so I'm just going to leave it. And I'm going to put this in soil. So we're going to see how many cuttings I get. It's probably going to be quite a few. I said that I like to cut plants where there are no leaves, but this vine is missing leaves on the whole bottom portion of the plant, and I would not recommend cutting the stem so that there are no leaves left on it. You can 100% do it. You can try it. It will probably grow a arm off with new leaves, and then it's still gonna stay blank. Or it could grow it on a node below. You just don't really know what's gonna happen there, and I don't wanna have a stem with no leaves on it, so I'm not gonna risk that. Oh, here's a perfect example of when I was saying to cut as close to the lower node as possible, because that extra space is gonna be unused. You can see this is where I previously took a cutting and I didn't cut as close to the node as possible, so now there's just this little extra stem hanging off, and the rest of the plant just grew next to it. You can see there are 2 spots. This one I cut closer to the node, and this one I cut farther from the node, but both of them are still just little nubs there. So that's why I like to cut very close to the previous node, because I don't like having that little stem. I think it's a little bit ugly. I avoid letting that sit there nowadays, but I guess I didn't care whenever I took this cutting. Oop. Got this one long trail. I took 5 cuttings. Some of them are pretty long, and I feel like the plant still looks pretty full. I'll stake these up probably so that to encourage really big leaves like this. I want really big leaves. I'm gonna use this pot. I got it from a thrift store, so it says forks and spoons on it. I don't know. I don't know why they're putting forks and spoons in a pot, but to each their own. I kind of want to wrap it around the top, so I'm gonna have it like this, so all of the nodes can root, and they do have kind of a lot of aerial roots, so hopefully that will help them root faster. For this one, I'm just gonna bury this whole bottom part of the stem since that's completely empty. The rest I'll wrap. Like this one is perfectly ready for wrapping. It's gonna lay really nicely on the soil. Preferably, I would use a shallow pot, like a really wide and shallow pot. That would be the best, because I'm not looking for space downwards. I'm looking for surface area. I want more surface area available so there's more space for these roots. I don't really care about the depth, but since the pot's deep, I'll add more soil so that I have more surface area, since the pot is kind of like this. And it would be a lot better if the pot was just so you can see it's not to the top. That's not my goal though. So I'm gonna stab this empty one all the way down into the soil. So I guess it's fine that I have such a deep pot, and then this will save some surface area for the rest of the plant. I'm just trying to bury the nodes without burying the leaves. I just broke the paper clip in half. So I stabbed one in there, and you can see it's laying down better, which is leading the rest of the nodes to lay down really nicely. And we still got some space right here. That one was just so easy peasy. I'm gonna place this into the plastic bag, and I'm gonna mist it until the soil is completely wet. By the way, if you like misting your plants, this is like kind of like an aerosol type It's supposed to be for your hair, but I use it for my plants. And it comes out in like a really fine mist compared to a spray bottle. And also you kind of like pump it so it keeps spraying out like an aerosol spray. So like I'm pumping right now and I stop and it still goes. So I really love it. So there we go, and I'm gonna slightly close it. I'm not gonna close it all the way so we can still have some airflow in there. And I'm gonna set this in a sunny or bright environment so that it can get its roots growing. And I'm gonna put that off to the side. And I need to continue doing that with these 3 left, but I'm gonna have to do it in a different pot because I ran out of space in that one. So you can see that I can lay them out on the table and all the leaves, well, pretty much the leaves are kind of effortlessly facing upward and the nodes are facing downwards so that the roots can grow into the soil, the aerial roots can grow into the soil, and it's a lot easier instead of trying to force a plant to face a certain way, to just cut it as the leaves have grown out. I'm gonna find a pot for this, put it in its own little bag, and then we're all set. So here's the other one I did, and I really like the container, except it doesn't have any drainage holes. If it had just like a lid, that would be absolutely perfect, but it doesn't, so I have to put it in a plastic bag. And I still have some left over because there wasn't room for them, so I'm gonna have to do another bag too. So there it is, we got our little propagations. I added my rooted golden pothos cuttings to these tetrasperma and bipennifolium cuttings, and they look really beautiful and luscious. I can't wait until they root. I'm gonna keep these by a west facing window, so it's gonna get a lot of light, but not enough so that the leaves burn. And then I also have my micans cuttings in their little plastic bags, and these ones I'm gonna keep in front of an east facing window, so they're gonna get a little bit of a morning direct sunlight, and then for the rest of the day they're just gonna get some ambient lighting, and hopefully they like it. We will see how long it takes for these to root. I'm hoping they root quickly. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!